This is Logical Logistics, where we cover shipping, supply chain, logistics, and everything in between. Welcome to the show. Well, thank you for joining us for the latest episode of Logical Logistics. And today our guest is Dr. Muddassir Ahmed, the Divisional Supply Chain Manager at Eaton. Now, he joins us from Birmingham, England, the United Kingdom. Dr. Ahmed, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me, Joe. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on the show. This is a great opportunity for people to learn about a few things. Mainly, I wanted to address the topic of getting an advanced education in supply chain and logistics. But first, Dr. Ahmed, can you give a little background of yourself?
Yeah, sure thing. I'll start slightly back. I'm originally from Pakistan. So I did my engineering degree in textiles and mechanical, and passed out in 2002. And then after working 2 years, I went to Sweden, Gothenburg, and did my master's in Chalmers University in management of production and supply chain from Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden. So that was a fantastic experience personally, especially working with about people from 25 different countries and about 65 in total. So great learning experience in a very diversified learning environment. And then I came to UK in 2005 and started working for Eaton as a buyer. And so while I was doing that, I always had a desire to go to do a PhD research, right? I came here to improve my English, learn a bit of English culture and get some experience and go ahead and do my full-time PhD. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship from Lancaster University Management School in 2007, 2008. So while I wanted to do a full-time PhD and about to leave the company where I work right now, Eaton, I think they offered me saying, okay, why can't you stay with us and work part-time and we'll fund you. So for me, that was a winning opportunity. Say, still work in a big multi-$20 billion company and continue to do research in a fantastic institution, right? So my predominant topic was around supply development and supply performance management. So that is the research I completed in last year. So I graduated on the 9th of December 2015, not long ago. So it was hard work with full-time job and in a progressive organization and family and stuff. So however, I'm grateful to achieve it.
So just to reiterate, you received a scholarship from Lancaster University. Was this through Eaton?
Yeah, so actually I had a full-time scholarship, so I wanted to leave and do a full-time PhD. But Eaton comes over and say, actually, stay with us and we'll fund your PhD. So for me, again, rather than on a scholarship, they fund my PhD and I carry on working full-time as well.
So did you apply for Lancaster and then they gave you the scholarship?
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, that's quite an accomplishment. Congratulations. I mean, yeah.
Thank you very much. I think it's mainly because I think I had a distinction in my master's, distinction in my engineering. So those good numbers helps you, and if you portray yourself in interviews very well, so it works. Anyway, yeah. So I'm thankful for opportunity. Right. So I think that leads to our second part, right?
Yes. So I've read some of your published articles, and they're all very, very good, very topical. It's amazing. When I first came into this industry some 37 years ago, it was just the shipping manager that ran the shipping, and that's what he was called. And the profession has evolved so much, and now there's supply chain, logistics, and the name of this show is Logical Logistics. Mm-hmm. So these roles have been really defined, and there's educational opportunities in supply chain and logistics. And one of the first articles I read from you was just great. You ranked the top schools in the United Kingdom, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so I know the majority of my listeners are here in the United States, but I do have some overseas. Can you just go over that ranking and what your criteria were?
Yeah, sure. But before that, I think it's important to explain, or just to, for your views, explain the thought process. I think you just made a very good point, right? Why 30 years ago then logistics was only a shipping department, right? And over the years, as soon as the outsourcing has developed and the manufacturing has diminished, the logistics and materials management have become a very strategic in nature, right? And I thoroughly believe that companies right now are innovating in this domain, logistics and supply chain, to gain competitive advantage. The classic example of that currently is maybe Amazon and Zara, right? So I think you made a very good point I want to emphasize. So what my blog, Muddassir, which is MUDDASSIRISM.com, it's mainly around that area. So I think what I just analyzed that there's a good, there's information gap, right? So there's a very high quality, high-end research knowledge, right? And then the other gap is more about what the consultants are writing, like Accenture or Bain, and which is very salesy sort of information. So there's no real information in between for the audience. And I started my blog, which is to help the folks in supply chain logistics to gain knowledge and mostly just talk about real problem and how we can solve it. So one thing I've been asked about quite a few times in LinkedIn or in Quora as well, tell me the best school in supply chain, right? And hence I thought, okay, that's a good question, I'll try to write it. So I thought, okay, there's approximately 30, 40 universities in United Kingdom who does a master's in supply chain and logistics with a very, very different title. So since I didn't have any mechanism to collect a lot of statistical knowledge or interview people, I didn't have a time enough. So I thought I'm gonna go with my personal experience. I'm gonna go with the people either I interact or hire and rank them that way, right? So therefore, I selected the 6 universities from Lancaster to Warwick to Aston to Birmingham and so on and so forth, and Cranfield, of course, who does masters in logistics and supply chain. So thought process was simple. Either I have think about the people who I've hired during my 10 years as a supply chain manager, or I work with, right, and wrote down about ranking in terms of the most effective graduates, right? So therefore, you probably see Cranfield is coming at the top in that thing. Because Cranfield by far is the best school when it comes to supply chain knowledge. They do have the best professors. They have the best rigorous program, and most importantly, they have a very stringent criteria to get the students in. So put it all together, they'll get the very good bunch of guys and girls to come in, and then when they go out after their graduation, they're pretty smart people I work with.
So obviously, you're a big proponent for getting an education in supply chain management and logistics. I've noticed there's so many degrees that you can get at a university, but I'm looking at degrees now, and it looks like the 3 outside of a medical degree. There's finance, and there's IT, and then there's supply chain logistics. I think those degrees are most in demand and will continue to be most in demand. There's limited amount of undergraduate schools here in the United States, I know, that offer an undergraduate, but there are more and more schools that are offering it as a graduate degree. So I know you're a big proponent of that. Can you expound on why you are? In fact, didn't you have a conversation with your brother about this?
Right. Yeah. Sure thing. So I think my brother asked me, why actually you want to do this? And I thought it's to gain the excellence, right? And the excellence is the best part, because if you think about most successful people, you know, Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, and you know, every most successful people, most people in America and outside America. Elon Musk recently, you know, I quite follow him as well. And all those people have one thing in common, right? Excellence. Excellence in what they do. They don't do it for money, right? They don't do it for they want to be rich. I think they do it because they like to do it. They wanted to do it, right? And that was my topic. So I think in your first point, as you said, the base degree supply chain is not available because supply chain essentially is the specialist field in business management, right? So you cannot probably will be able to doing when you're doing your bachelor's, right? And so therefore, I always recommend to people, right? Go ahead, work in the industry, find what you like, and then choose what your masters want to do. So when my brother says, I mean, you could do MBA, you could do anything, I said, but I want to be good in one thing, and I like supply chain, and I want to be excel in this, right? Because and I totally believe right now when I go to work every day in the morning, I totally believe I enjoy my job, and I think I have all the right theoretical tools, I have the right practical backing behind me, right, to basically face one of the, I think, any practical challenges we face in our professional life.
So can you go over your roles at Eaton and how this degree has enhanced your ability to manage the supply chain process?
Yeah, sure thing. So I think I'll go back as my first role as a buyer, right, and then as a demand planner. So I've been fortunate enough to move from procurement to materials management to logistics as well, because I was fortunate enough to go to set up a warehouse in the Middle East from ground up, right? So from each of those opportunities, my engineering helped me, as because I have for this, let's call it common sense thinking, made me more analytical, more problem solving. But all the theory I read in my master's in supply chain from, okay, what does MRP really look like, right? So how you design a logistics network, how you do a supply chain mapping. So as soon as I can see when there's problem hitting us in terms of, the on-time performance is down or lead times are longer or inventory is going high. So best way is to get everybody in and just do a supply chain mapping exercise. See, okay, what does our total value stream look like? What are the input variables? What is actually we wanted to achieve, and where's the waste, right? I would not know all this if I wouldn't probably have done my master's, right? What I find, I think over the period of time, by applying that theories in the real world, help me is I get better in applying those theories faster, right? And I did make sure the people I'm working with, they do understand why I'm saying what I'm saying and what is the end game look like, right? So I think the art here is not just to go into your master's degree and get a good grade. I think the trick would be how you're going to apply those theories in your practical world, and the gap is still quite wide. And I think the art is to close that gap between the theory and the practical problems.
Yeah, great points. What do you see as your biggest challenges right now?
I think the biggest challenge is in logistics materials, right? What is the concept of customer service? Historically, it used to be cost, quality, and delivery. So everybody used to think, I want the best quality at the best price, right? And I need on time. But the world has changed right now, right? The competition is fierce, and everybody not just wanted the best price, the best quality on time. They want it faster, right? And logistics and supply chain will give us that fourth element of customer service. If your supply chain is not agile enough, they are not responsive enough, I can certainly leave a supplier with the best price, and I can go somebody who can give me quicker, because I know if I can supply quicker to my end customers, I can grow my business.
So, not to interrupt you though, but are you finding that people are looking for the best price or more the best value?
I think best value,
okay,
right? Because best value is enabling growth. Because the thing is, the lowest price with the whole outsourcing, you cannot last in a Western world. It's just not possible.
Right. Yeah, and interesting you brought up outsourcing, because another one of your recently published articles, you talk about hiring temporary or interim staff, correct?
Yeah. Yes. Sure thing. Yes. And yeah.
Can you address the advantages of that?
Yeah, I think this is again somebody requests me, a recruiter saying, oh, why can't you hire my, no, actually the whole thing started was because last year we have an economical decline in the markets we are in, and I was struggling to get the full-time heads, right? Naturally, most businesses are squeezed in for cash, and so is us. So the proposal was, okay, get a temporary staff in, and I went ahead and get some university graduates for 6 to 12 months contracts and whatever, and those folks were fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And this was us trying to to say. They are dedicated. They're here to actually want to gain experience. They want to have a good recommendation, and so they know they're not here to, as we use the word in England, a plodder, right? Comes in, clocking at 9 o'clock, go out at 5:30. They want a good recommendation at the end, right? And there's a hope they might get a permanent job, of course. They are, and most importantly, I think one of the things I mentioned is they have worked in different organizations and they have a diversified experience, right? And they bring a lot more experience than the folks who are working within one place for a few months and few years, right? So that is one of the benefits. And they are, of course, cost effective. And if the demand is down or demand is up, you can flex them in, flex them out. So they give you a better quality of product of their services. They are knowledgeable. They are good guys and good girls to work with, and you can flex them as and when the business need is there, right? So that's the whole thought process was.
And this kind of transitions into my next question to you. In my previous episode, I spoke with a gentleman who had IT experience, and then he transitioned into transportation. And he brought up the topic of young people best utilizing their college experience, their college degree. What advice would you give to young people who are in college, specifically if they want to go into supply chain and logistics as a major or as a master's degree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the first advice I was going to give is just make sure the current degree they are doing, they do a good job with it, right? And they like it or not, I mean, they might end up in doing that because their parents force them to do it, unfortunately, or any other reason. But they need good grades, right? To get good grades, you can go to good universities, right? So that's going to good universities is important, right? Because master's is not cheap. It's expensive degree, right? It's the investment in your future career, right? So first and foremost, do a good job, right? Second, do your research, which university you want to go for, right? That's important. Do your analysis. I write and blog. There are quite a few out there. Make sure you go and see universities. See their ranking. Ranking is also important, and also I think the third one, which probably I should have said it the first time, if you think the supply chain is a growing field, is exciting for whatever reason, and you're seeing some successful people around, make sure you work in that before you actually invest your $13,000 to $20,000 or more, in fact, in your masters, because you have to have that feeling. I worked 2 years in supply chain before I decided to do masters and then PhD eventually because I liked it, right? Even though my first degree was engineering, I never liked it, right? In working in the engineering environment. So make sure gain, even for short period of time, 6 to 12 months is good enough to work in any supply chain organization at any level. So feel it. Is this something you're going to stick it for the next 30, 35 years of your life?
And what about as an undergrad degree? For example, probably the one I know most of, Michigan State, which is a fairly large university, about 6 hours from where I am in Chicago. They actually have an undergraduate degree. How do you feel about that?
I think when I finished my engineering, I can talk based on experience, right? The graduate degree has to be probably the most generalistic you can get, right? So I did in mechanical and textiles. There were like 42 different courses. And at the end, when we finished, and I remember asking this question to my chairman in the department. I said, I'm about to finish. I've got a distinction, but I haven't got a clue what I'm good at. And he said, that is the whole point, right? In your head, you have about 46 different windows, which is each courses. So when you're going to go out, it will help you to pick a window which will help you to solve whatever the problem you are in or the business you are in. So graduate degree has to be as general as possible. Even though I could have done the business management degree in my undergraduate, but I did engineering to diversify and then do master's in management. So you can have a dual degree for that sake. So in summary, what I'm saying is do as general as degree as possible in your undergrad.
Okay.
Work 2-3 years, feel what you like, because you can go into finance or marketing or supply chain or operations, feel what you like, and then specialize in your masters. And I would fancy if you do supply chain.
That sounds like a great path, great advice. So I'd like to thank you once again for joining us. Where can people find you? And read? Like I said, you have mostly on LinkedIn. What I've read, you have some very good, concise, outstanding articles addressing the topics. Where can people? Is that the best place to find you?
That LinkedIn is the best place to find me. Just Google it. My Dr. Muddassir Ahmed is Muddassir, and Ahmed is Ahmed. I'll come up in first three links of the Google. So LinkedIn is the best place. I'm mostly accepting all the requests I get because this is the profile I'm growing my blog, and I think just to see what I want to see my blog is in fact not just to add value, but actually are going to make a lot of supply chain tools available for free. For example, inventory analytics, some related to logistics. Yeah, so come in, subscribe, and tune in, and I'm sure you'll find value.
Great. And then finally, this is a question I'd like to ask all of my guests. What does the term logistics mean to you?
Oh, okay. The term logistics for me is actually where it was invented, right? What I've been told, it was invented in military days, right? When what army used to do when there is no population or there is no way to reach, they used to build a lot of tracks and a lot of logistics network, and then they move out from that area and then a lot of population. So for me, that it is. Logistics enable moving product or services in some cases from one place to another, right? And the better we can do it as logistics people, the better we will survive in our jobs.
Great. Well, thank you once again for joining us on Logical Logistics. Once again, to find Dr. Ahmed, best way to find him is on LinkedIn. I'd like to thank you. Hope to have you again in the future for talk about future topics.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Joe. It's been a pleasure. Appreciate it, and thanks for the audience as well.
Well, have a great day.
Cheers.
All right, bye. And we'll see you next time on Logical Logistics.
Click the subscribe button for new videos every week and download us and review us on iTunes. Visit www.beslogistics.net for more logistics, transportation, and warehousing resources. Thanks for watching.